Welcome and congratulations on your enthusiasm for learning about Georgia, our new uncommunist neighbor. Now hold on as we take a low-budget trip through this fascinating region.
This is the country of Georgia, not to be confused with the Southern American state of illiterate yokels.
This is the president of Georgia. His name is Mikhail Saakashvili. Say it with me now.
Saakashvili.
No.
Saakashvili.
No. Saakashvili.
Saakashvili.
Yes, very good. In Georgia, his people call him Misha. Here, we see President Saakashvili shaking hands with some guy. This is the currency used in Georgia.
It's called a lari.
1 lari is worth about 62 American cents.
Whoa. But hold on there, pal. We'd better grab a quick history lesson before we go too far.
That's right. But instead of examining all of Georgian history, we can look at 2 men who will give us a good feel for this country.
This man is considered one of the founding fathers of Georgia. His name is Elila Sharfadusker Parsinich-Visky.
I think you meant to say Ilya Shavshevedsi.
Is that not what I said?
You were a little off.
Pretty sure that's what I said.
It was close, but not so good.
We'll move on.
Yeah. He was a poet, a writer, a lawyer, and a journalist.
Yeah.
Illustrating Georgia's rich roots in the arts and high culture.
Hey, you got it.
But you don't need to know that because he gained his greatest legacy after being killed by a gang of space ninjas in 1907.
You mean assassins, right?
What did I say?
Space ninjas.
That's weird.
Yeah.
To show Georgia's revolutionary history, we can learn about this man.
Prince Harakari Kalari Shemanisky.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that says Khosrow Shalokashvili.
Shalokashvili! Hey!
He served in the Imperial Russian Army and was a World War I veteran. However, when the Red Army invaded his homeland of Georgia and established... No.
Oh.
And they established a Bolshevik regime, he started a guerrilla resistance. Not that kind of guerrilla.
Aww.
But he was defeated in August uprising of 1924 and ran away to France. Meanwhile, in Georgia, his name was banned for 70 years.
You better not say that name.
I know. Soviets dominated his country. Before August of 1924, Soviet control in Georgia had been weak, but the August uprising had firmed communist power in the region.
You commies!
They're everywhere. Every corner of Georgia was subjected to the constantly propagating spread of communism. Even the Cold War ended, but Georgia was still ruled by a corrupt government headed by President
Shevardnadze.
Thank you. However, after illegitimate elections were held in 2003, a peaceful revolution in which masses of people, there they are, all of them, marched on the new parliament while holding roses.
Stupid flag got in the way.
Yeah, but it still was called the Rose Revolution.
Terrible picture.
They marched and they interrupted the president while he was speaking and forced him to flee.
Those little guys that get on you?
Run away.
Oh.
Once the military refused to answer to his orders, legitimate elections were held where President
Saakashvili!
Yeah, he won.
Ho-ho!
Now he's there. That's right.
So what does Georgia look like today?
Well, let's take a look. Georgians retain their culture and roots in many aspects of their life.
Traditional Georgians can be seen around the country posing for pictures instead of working.
High culture has remained prevalent, as can be seen here at
Tbilisi
University.
Beyond that, Georgians enjoy a country which is rich in art of many varieties, such as the theater,
musical performances,
paintings and sculptures,
not to mention sports like football,
rugby,
wrestling, which they have enjoyed since it was introduced to them by the Greeks.
They played it naked.
And in pots. Of course, there are more contemporary events to enjoy in Georgia.
Here, we see several Georgians enjoying a beer drinking contest.
Yes.
Ho-ho! Not too fast, though, boys. You'll want to save room for some of that
Kinkali.
This national dish is a minced spiced meat dumpling, usually served in a feast or
Supra.
That looks pretty meaty.
But let's not forget about the legendary vineyards of Georgia!
These allow Georgians to produce wine which is considered to be on par with the French and Italians. Archaeological findings actually date Georgian winemaking back to 5000 BC, making it the birthplace of wine.
That's like over, 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
While it is little known in the West, Georgian wine is enormously popular with the peoples of the former Soviet Union.
Damn you commies!
However, this market was injured when Moscow halted the import of Georgian wines on the issues of health issues.
Health issues.
Yeah, that's no good.
It's got quotations
Maybe that's
around
why.
it.
Yeah,
Think it's fake?
could be. Well, most Georgians, though, they are pretty sure that's because of political reasons.
I can see that.
Yeah. Even in the face of these obstacles, Georgia is a country which is working towards modernization and is beginning to feel the effects of globalization.
Outside of its cities, Georgia has a stunning landscape littered with, well, not trash, but long-standing structures. The country is split into east and west by mountains, and the region is, by and large, mountainous, much like our home in East Tennessee!
Yay! Here, we can see a Georgian riding one of the legendary Georgian lion mice.
You know, I've seen a lion mouse.
No, you haven't.
I've seen a cheetah! 82% of Georgians are Orthodox Christian. Did you know that?
Actually, I did, but did you know that 16% of that 82%, they belong to the Russian Orthodox Church?
Did you know that the rest of those, like 47% or more, are belonging to the Georgian Orthodox?
I think you made that number up.
Well, I mean, it's possible.
Well, but did
But-
you also know that there are trace amounts of Jews and Catholics in Georgia?
I mean, am I a math major? Am I
No.
on trial here?
Do you even go to college?
Yes.
Oh. Well, okay.
Well, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we talk about that powerhouse of the Georgian military?
That sounds pretty good. What do you know about their military already?
Well, I know that there are over 26,000 troops, including land, air, and naval forces, which is over much more than that there are worldwide, such as,
26,000?
yes,
Okay.
powerhouse.
Well, how about the fact that you can clearly see them here driving a T-72BV tank. This one is the new and improved model over the T-71BV tank, which did not come with the decorative ceramic plates.
Well, the thought here is that if you can't win a battle, you can at least look good while you're doing it.
Not winning?
Yes. I mean,
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
sure.
Their other favorite car to drive is the BTR-80 personnel carrier.
You know, almost every Georgian has one of these in their garage.
That's right. I heard that Honda actually has a division over in Georgia that makes these.
I heard they could fly.
I've not heard that, but it's probably an available option.
You know, another thing that can fly are their Mi-24 helicopters, which can be seen daily, on the hour, every hour, flying over the Capitol all day.
Well, oftentimes those helicopters are passed in mid-flight by the Su-25KM jet, seen here in a horrible-looking blue shade, which I'm guessing would not blend in with anything.
Well, this was actually part of their kind of giving back to the community efforts. They let a school of blind children paint the jets.
That's very kind of them. Did you know that Georgia actually willingly joined the Coalition of the Willing?
Well, I think you would have to if
Yeah.
you were willing.
If you were forced to join something called that, I would not be happy.
But
about
I
it.
mean, they really helped spread democracy across Iraq.
Not unlike this delicious jam across this toast.
Now, I know that when I have jam on my toast, everyone's happy. So I can imagine that democracy on Iraq,
Is equals happy.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of part one.
Now on to part 2, which is titled, Why Should I Give Two Craps About Georgia? I mean, seriously, I hadn't even heard about it until I took this class, so what kind of bearing can it even have on me?
Well, I can think of a few reasons.
Oh, really?
Yes. Reason one, we can't afford a Georgia Gap.
What is that?
Well, we have Georgia, the country that's known for high culture, art, and winemaking, but we also have Georgia, the state known for peaches and incest.
And the Falcons.
And well, I mean, they're kind of down this year. But, can you think of a reason?
Well, I think another reason might be that they're attempting to gain access to the European Union, and if this happens, this could affect relations with Russia, which will wreak havoc on international relations,
Oh my god.
much like Godzilla did on this map.
Wow.
Also, it's no secret that Russia, those sneaky Russians, they want to absorb Georgia.
Wait, can we go back to that map?
Yeah.
Did you know that's to scale?
Actually, yeah. I had seen a few pictures of this that was taken while they were trying to film it, and I was in space at the time, and I saw it from my ship.
Now, what really amazes me is how they managed to separate Georgia and move it around to the west coast of Europe.
They, I read a documentary on how they
Godzilla
did
carried that on his back?
No, he was trying to destroy it. What happened was they dug it up and attached rocket boosters. There was actually 36 space shuttles around the border of Georgia that boosted it, the whole country, into the air.
Well, I'm impressed.
Into space, actually, because Godzilla is about 28,000 leagues tall.
I think that'll really help their efforts.
Yeah. Anyways, it's not a secret here. Everybody kind of knows this, that Russia wants to absorb Georgia. They want to take them in, and they're trying to sow some dissension among the citizens of Georgia.
Well, I mean, I hope that they aren't successful, but, many Georgians claim that the most recent revolution was actually incited by Russian insurgents.
Ugh.
I know. There's one thing I really hate. It's a damn commie. And,
Don't we all?
I think that you've got a problem here with the Russians, the Ruskies. They want their Georgia. They want their Georgia.
Well,
There was the missile gap, then there was the mine gap, and now there's a Georgia gap.
don't forget the dance party gap. As
Well,
you
no.
can clearly see, they're having one now. Georgia is, in fact, world famous for their dance parties.
And that's more of a reason we need to keep them around.
Yes.
If we can't have that Georgian breakdancing, there's no reason to live.
Yeah, I would just go out and play in traffic.
You know what happens
Right now, I
if we
would.
don't seek to understand our Georgian neighbors?
Dance party?
No. Boom!
Shakalaka?
No! Seriously, if somehow we manage to not get blown up, Georgia...
It's a pretty good place.
Yeah, it's a pretty great place.
Yeah, it's nice.
Not a bad economy, not a good economy.
I know a guy that went there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How'd he go for him?
He took a lot of pictures.
Well, I mean, did he eat citrus fruits, tea, grapes, or mine any manganese and copper? Because a lot of Georgians do that every day.
I didn't know you could eat tea.
Well, you can.
Well, maybe only in Georgia. Did you know that because of civil strife, they've had a lot of problems with their economy, but with the help of the IMF and World Bank, they had substantial economic gains since 1995?
Well, I mean, they're doing well, but the thing is, they've got to worry about their energy shortages. They have to import a lot of energy, and they have to worry about tax evasion, corruption, and further political uncertainties. It's just really a messy situation over there, but the bad doesn't outweigh the good. I think often too many times in today's world, we, just will totally bail on a country, and it's like Georgia. Look at our own Georgia. We hate our own Georgia. Why should we like another Georgia? But I'm telling you, you should like it.
But I like our Georgia.
Well, I mean, you're one of the few.
I'm from there.
Doesn't mean you can read.
But what? Shut up.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's take a look at this pie graph. Agriculture here, as you can see, clearly represents 17.2% of GDP by sector.
But
While-
also, there's another slice of the pie that doesn't even represent that, and it represents unemployment, which sits at 12.6%.
But that, okay. And going back to the original pie, industry has the other 27.5%, while services clearly hold the majority with 55.3%.
I believe that we can easily put a pie on top of the pie to show the labor force of 2.04 million, with 54% of those below the poverty line and 10% inflation. Now you see we have 4 pies on the screen. This 4th pie represents the main industries of Georgia, which include steel, aircraft, machine tools, electrical appliances, mining of both manganese and copper, chemicals, wood products, and wine.
Also, 4 pies are just awesome,
Oh, that's true.
especially if they're delicious fruit pies.
4 pies in the hand are worth 30 birds in the bushes
That's true.
down by the river.
Speaking of pies, did you know that Georgia's main partners in trade are Russia, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Bulgaria, Armenia, Ukraine, and Canada?
Canada.
Wow.
Why
Canada.
are those Canadians trading? I saw an interesting documentary the other day about problems with Canada. They're likely to invade if not stopped by John Candy.
He did a good job with them and Canadian bacon, and I think it's about time we send him back.
Yeah, and maybe after he's done there, he can go over and do something about that $1.76 billion of public debt.
Yeah, because I mean they only have $1.43 billion of revenues, so
Yeah.
that's not really getting better.
Yeah, they're getting $150 million a year in financial aid from other guys.
Yeah, that's true. Other guys, indeed.
Yeah.